Uh-oh, something's happening back at the pastoral village.
What could be happening? I'm a JRPG man. What could happen to my hometown? What do you mean you don't cover acts of plot?
Oh, Jesus. I should just quit out right now. I'm fighting a Zelda.
I'll review.
I love what Nodal said the other night, where anybody who mains Zelda is an actual terrorist.
Wow.
Hey!
I'm sorry. I'm talking about Smash Bros.
I know, but I like Zelda in that.
Well,
Also,
I'm sorry
Faye
that you're an
just referred
actual terrorist.
They just referred to those robots as giants.
He doesn't know.
Was it Jay?
If you saw a giant robot, you might not know they were robots.
It looks like it's made out of metal. I'm sorry.
And the robot could be wearing armor.
The giant, you mean?
Whatever.
Fanboy, please respect the jargon. It's pronounced the big boy.
Biggin?
The big boy.
Go look out for the big boys.
Though, so I'm just absolutely wrecking her.
I still don't know why it's called
I really am sorry. I really am that you're a terrorist.
I mean, I technically, if I main anybody in Smash, it's Ganondorf, so...
Okay, that's better. I main Little Mac. Like, I actively main Little Mac.
Yes, I know. You're a
just,
masochist.
It means that I literally just am addicted to suffering.
I mean, I know you mentioned that you like JRPGs where you can jump, but that they should also be able to jump in Smash Brothers.
Ouch.
Fucking ouch. Don't think I deserve that one.
So I'm not sure if you knew this, but people's hometowns in JRPGs tend to end poorly.
No, really?
If you live in a JRPG, you should really live out in like a... If you're going to be a protagonist, you should really live out in like a hermitage.
Live out in the woods.
Well, I mean, the odds of you being a protagonist are low, so what's important
All I
is
can
if...
think of now is that fucking irritability comic where we have a new character, we have a new member in my classroom. It's Goku! Oh, good. Wait, I'm not the main character? And then another one that was, it's Krillin. Oh, good, I'm the main character.
So what were you saying?
Well, I was going to say, if you live in a pastoral JRPG village, the first thing you should do on your first day is go to the local weapon shop, and if they only have one extremely weak sword, move. Like, just leave it all behind you. You know what's going to happen.
I mean, that's easily the best advice I've ever heard. Haha, I got her with the KO punch. Fuck you, Zelda, you ain't shit. God damn it! Final Smash meters are bullshit because this one's gotten 2 of them in a single round.
So, the newlyweds, or soon-to-be newlyweds, are going to let Faye and the doc handle it, and I'm sure they're going to be just fine.
Wait, isn't that the girl that, like, wanted your, let's go with Holy Sword for now?
Yes, that is absolutely the girl that wanted Faye's holy sword.
Well, that sucks.
And that's her fiance there next to her. And they're both going to go, be safe for the rest of their lives.
Look, I don't know, like, much about, like how marriages get decided in the Xenogears universe.
They actually made a big deal about that. No, it appears to be arranged because they made a big point about if Faye had been born here, then they would probably be together.
Oh, okay.
So they seem to like each other well enough, but I mean, this is a village with, like, it looks like maybe 12 people.
Oh, wait, I remember this part. This part was the bit from the beginning that, like, didn't happen.
Yes, no, we're built. It's an in media res story.
We started an in media res thing and then jumped back.
Okay.
It's like, how did I get here? Wait, freeze frame. How did I get this giant robot?
The list of games that have done that well can be counted on one hand.
I mean, I think it kind of works in this game's favor because, like, it at least lets you know.
I'm not saying that I wasn't excluding a finger. I was not saying I was excluding Xenogears a finger.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting I get the impulse because it allows you to start an action moment and then dial it back so you can have the slow establishment. Yeah. But in this game, I mean, like, in this game, they really did try to make you care about the little town. Like, I totally ignored it, but there are a bunch of little mini games you can do around town, like like the
They
Millennial
create the
Fair and Chrono
situation where you
Trigger.
suddenly realize how bad the opening is going to be when it happens.
Yes.
All right. What I was trying to say was that one of the games I feel actually did that extremely well was Spec Ops: The Line.
I guess.
Has anyone else played that game?
I have not.
Okay, well, Spec Ops: The Line starts with a helicopter turret sequence, essentially, right? And it feels like really like action packed and everything, and then all of a sudden it cuts back to like what we assume is the start of the story, and like it goes through its story, which is exceedingly dark. Spec Ops: The Line
I'm sorry
is
to
kind of
interrupt,
incredible.
Beat, but
Go
I
ahead.
just want to say that Faye just pulled a "This robot was made for me" and just walked right into it
Oh,
after
that's
not
awesome.
even being able to identify them a moment
This
ago.
hole was made for me.
Exactly. It's just like, well,
Makes
I'm
sense.
going in that robot. Okay.
Get in the robot. Anyways, the thing that happens in Spec Ops: The Line is the story then plays out largely like it should, and then all of a sudden, like after a lot of stuff, it gets to a helicopter turret segment, and the first thing your guy screams, like because you and your two drones or whatever talk to each other throughout the whole game. Your two CPU controlled allies. The first thing the main guy says as he gets in the helicopter is, "Wait a second, we already did this." And your two friends are like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Never mind, don't worry about it." Because the implication is he died and is in hell, because Spec Ops: The Line kind of is hell. It's an incredible game. A lot of people have made very valid criticisms about the shit that it does to tear down the walls in between story and the whole fiction and everything. And those are all valid. I'm not saying they aren't valid. But it really stuck with me for reasons that I feel are worth it. I'd say it's a game you should definitely be on your playlist if you haven't or whatever.
Good to know.
Yeah, here's your combat. It's the same as regular combat, except that you can run out of fucking fuel and that stuff.
Fuel.
Yeah, legitimately, the
Yeah,
mech
yeah,
combat
sure,
is going to be the main reason I cheat, because there is a
You
lot.
need money.
Yeah, there's a lot involved.
So the only correlation between your magic, your on-foot combat and your gear combat is what death blows you've learned, and magic. And most characters, it's not worth casting magic on you.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, and so your stats are useless. And I'm just gonna spoil a thing about the end of the game. The final dungeons in the Gears, your level does not matter.
No, not in any conceivable way, and it's so sad. And I'm trying to think of the last area where it does matter. I think it's 2 dungeons back.
Yeah, because there's a few more not quite final dungeons, but they're all in the Gears too, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you're continually in the gear, and also that's the portion of the game where you're continually getting new Omni gears, and just whoever just got an Omni gear has the best gear.
It's just ridiculous.
And it's it's really, I think I talked about this in the Dragon Ball Z article, but it really is like an episode of Dragon Ball Z, which whoever was just introduced is the best character. They are the strongest. Just deal with them for right now.
And of course, that also means the protagonist at the end gets a ridiculous.
No, he gets a
weapon.
double better gear.
Yeah, it's absurd.
He literally gets the God gear.
There's also, because of how cut up the end of this game will end up being, there will be characters that it will be unclear if they somehow died at some point.
Well, I mean, we literally just met one of the big ones.
Yeah.
Satan's family, it's where's your mom? Nobody knows. Is she
Poor
dead?
Yui.
No. Did you eat her? Maybe.
Are you related to Shion? We can't legally say.
Yes, I do have to say, for anybody watching this for the first time, this Satan is just incidentally named Izuki.
It's definitely no relation, though. That would require us to have purchased rights that we didn't get hold of.
I mean, I guess you can't... Is, Izuki a common name anywhere?
I mean, it's probably it's a very Japanese sounding name. I've never looked up whether it's a common Japanese name, but I'm sure there's someone with it.
Oh, poor Dan. His hair burned off.
Oh, no. No wonder his male pattern baldness persists.
Okay, can you guys hear me? I just came back.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear it.
Excellent. Because I actually used the mute function for once in my life. On purpose. That's very rare for me. You need to understand.
But yeah, so,
Wait, male
go
pattern baldness
Shitan
survived
here.
the Ravenwood Village?
What was that?
She... Okay.
I mean, like, of all the people that presumably died in this, hellstorm,
Dan is the one that survives.
Oh, Dan
Yes.
absolutely survives.
that is so tragic because out of everybody who should have died in like a tragic accident, it would have been him.
His forehead reflected all the crazy lasers that were going off, so he's fine.
Get used to Dan, we'll see him again someday. I feel like Shitan here is one of the strangest characters I've ever encountered in like a JRPG, just in terms of like what he chooses to hold back.
Okay, fanboy, before you continue, is it pronounced
Yeah.
Sitan or Shitan?
Shitan is how I've seen like people refer to the kana being spelled, but I've never looked it up.
I've always
Okay.
called him Satan.
Yeah. I'm just saying people I know who looked at the kana usually said Shitan, which
I'm
is why
just saying it
assumed
sounds a
that
lot
was
like
it.
shit on.
Which might be why they did not make it spelled that way.
I'm gonna call him
Fair enough.
Jin. We're going with Jin. Just calling it Jin.
I'll just call him Uzuki, and it'll be accurate.
There you
Change
go.
his name from a localization, he's Larry now.
But yeah, Uzuki is one of the strangest characters in terms of what he chooses to hold back throughout the game.
I mean, I feel like there's kind of a reason.
There's a reason for some of them, but I'm just thinking about that point late in the game where he's just like, oh, I should use this.
Well, yeah, at one point he's like, well, we've been in mortal danger 1,000 times, but now I think it's actually time to do this.
Yeah, and it's just super weird. It's like, wait, you could have done that the whole time?
The whole time.
It's like, this is the Rubicon, moving on.
Because to put it another way, he becomes a markedly more effective character late in the game.
He's basically two different characters before and after.
Yeah. And there's not, like, a thing that he's specific, like, philosophically, I suppose, is supposed to be the reason that he's not doing this, but, I mean, once you see this carnage, you would think that that most of your compunctions would be...
He did not care about anyone who lived in this village. I think that's, like, literally canon.
Yeah, he's kind of... What he chooses to care about raises a lot of questions.
I mean, there's a
There's a
reason
lot
he
there.
lives up on a mountain.
There's a lot to discuss about this character. Like, Xenogears is not a game that lacks for interesting things to discuss, just because I don't think it comes together very well. Also, here's some animated segments. They're kind of low budget, but they look nice.
Yeah,
They
well,
actually do look very nice. The animation here is very fluid, I have to admit.
and
that.
as people are
I forget who
obliterated.
made these.
It's very 90s anime, too, which I love.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Who actually made these? I'm checking just to be sure. It was Studio B Train, apparently.
That's kind of a big
Which-
studio.
Yeah, they kind of are. They did a lot of stuff in the late 90s, though.
Also, oddly enough, I remember this intro lasting a lot longer when I played it the first time.
Yeah, I mean, everything felt like it lasted longer when I played it the first time.
True.
But no, I would not say this has a bad intro. I would say that it gets you wrapped up in what's happening fairly well. I think that there's bits after the intro that kind of kill the pace, but...
Yeah, no, I mean, if nothing... Well, I would say this, but, like, Xenosaga Episode 1, I do have to say, has one of the lousiest
that
opening
intro.
3 hours.
That intro takes forever, and then, like, the Gnosis shit happens. It's like, okay, now I'm paying attention.
Yeah, no, I
but-
mean, there were definitely parts in the opening of Xenosaga where I almost gave up on the Let's Play because it took, like, 3 different chapters to get out of just walking around the ship.
Like, I'll bring up another of, like, one of my personal favorite PS1 RPGs, Star Ocean 2. The opening, that's awful. Like, it just takes forever to get to a point where it's like having you do something that's interesting. It's like, oh, God. Why did you have to fight in the middle of the village? Well,
It hurts.
you screwed up, Faye. No one likes you no more. And all because you
All right.
stepped on their houses.
I need to say this. Kishi is screaming right now as well, Demon Souls, like he does. We unfortunately seem to have picked the same night of the week as Kishi does for streaming.
Yeah. I let him know about that. He's kind of sad about that.
Anyways, I told him that he can jump in when he feels like it, which will probably be like 3 hours from now because we'll probably still be doing this 3 hours from now.
Sounds good.
And I'm trying really hard not to cry.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fucking Xenogears.
Listen, you can tap out of paying attention anytime. Me and Gagabob will have a lot to say about this game.
Dude, I don't know how much rum you think I've drank, but I've drank more than you think I've drank.
No, I'm just saying, I assume you've already tapped out of paying attention to what's happening.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Not even a question.
Faye had a bad day. The end.
Might be a good idea for you to leave this place where everyone's yelling at you.
He couldn't even park his car. God damn it! I can't believe that's like my Pavlovian response to I had a bad day today.
He's basically looking for a new place to park his car, except his car is a big robot that kills things.
It's about the music industry B-side, fanboy. God.
I know. I'm just saying that what is happening in the game is what's happening here. Jesus.
So Dan's like, yeah, just go into the forest and get lost.
Listen, nothing good awaits you here. This place has been completely, utterly obliterated, and also no one here likes you.
Dude, take care now. These people are going to live under this rock.
Northeast.
What was that?
He was talking about the BTMI song.
Oh.
Oh, and it has a really good fan-made music video.
Travel
How's that?
my way.
Dumping that in the chat.
And
Well, I guess I'll take the thing that I hate. Because no one else will.
I mean, this might be more fun with voice acting, but just little text of, I choose to believe he's just seeing it in his own mind.
Well, I'm just imagining, what would that even... I'm just imagining... There's a handful of voice acting in this game, and it is typical of the era. We're probably better off that a lot of these scenes aren't.
If memory serves, Ellie's introduction is particularly memorable, which should be coming up shortly.
Yeah, we're very close to that. I think the thing that always sticks, whenever I'm... What is the archetypal bad voice acting in your brain? Because I think the one that always sticks out in my mind is there is a section in Shadow Hearts on PS2.
Okay.
Where, it's one of 3 scenes in the entirety of Shadow Hearts 1 that has any voice acting at all. And it's just an old lady telling a story where she repeatedly says, squish, 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 sploosh. And it's just what is this? Why is this one of the 3 sections you voice acted? Why does it sound like this?
Sploosh. Yeah, no, the worst in my mind is always going to come back to Mega Man 8.
Yeah, Mega Man 8 was also Genie's response. Fair.
I mean, it's over, Wily!
I just love when Dr. Light trips over one of his lines and just has to keep going.
I love that Mega Man calls him Bass.
Stop it, Bass. We're not enemies.
But friends.
Also, Bass, you are absolutely enemies. Bass just does things for Dr. Wily. He just gets pissed off about doing things for
He's
Dr.
a black
Wily.
robot that shoots things. That's all he does. And I don't...
You're having this discussion while he's attacking a building.
Yeah.
I understand your philosophical desire not to kill a fellow robot.
I mean, I want to say it was Mega Man 8 that, that opening intro first established that, the other, for me at least, I mean, I'm sure there was Japanese media that did this, but I never saw it, that it established that, Mega Man fighting the robot masters, they have actual personalities, and they're not just dudes that hang out in a room and run out in a circle. Okay, I guess Mega Man does care about things. Yeah. I love how often I open the menu
theoretically,
back.
all of them are supposed to have jobs, so...
Well, I mean, at the very least, the beginning ones did. I don't think, like, Shadow Man ever had a legit job.
He should. Look at that resume. Only weak to dancing.
He can jump, and slide.
That's Mega Man, you know it.
Yeah, but Shadow Man can too.
It's true, it's true. Yeah, I really love a lot of these, like, fighter animations. I think they're really cool.
I always enjoy Faye's headbutt. It's just like, screw you, pog.
I forget what the mechanism is to actually learn new death blows.
If memory
I think
serves,
it's just individual uses of each type of attack.
you have to like do the combo right, and then it like will spark. Or am I thinking of Saga Frontier?
I think you're thinking of Saga Frontier. I think it eventually just tells you you've learned them. But maybe I'm misremembering. Let me check.
Is it from defeating things? Like,
I think it's using each individual attack. Okay, I'm checking in Old Game Facts Death Blow Learning FAQ.
I mean, keep in mind I will just cheat into having all of them by the next time we
Yeah, I want to know what the mechanism is for them. It would be nice if you had learned one by the end of this. By the end of tonight. Possible.
Alright, I'll let you enjoy your bath.
Yep. He did not mute that time.
He did not.
How much of that did you hear?
Something about a bath.
Just good night, beautiful, basically.
Sorry.
It's fine. I mean, that's not a weird thing to say to someone.
This to say to your wife? Absolutely not.
Well, I don't have a bathtub, so it would be weird if I said it to my wife.
Fair enough.
Bathtubs are nice, though.
They are, and I feel bad that I
I'll be
don't
right
have
back.
one anymore, but it's a thing. It
Yeah.
had to go.
Each move has its own experience level. Move experience are hidden in the game. Let's see. Everyone starts with 0 move experience. Have death blows. Move experience is not acquired for X when it triggers a death blow. Appendix 1 non-death blow move combinations. Several in the player's guide. New experience points are acquired at different rates for different characters. Oh, this is awful.
I love old facts that explain things that nobody would ever need. It's like
I just want you to. I just want like the fact to tell me like what determines whether you learn.
it's like the precursor to the modern YouTube video instruction. It's like, yo, it's your boy.
It's your boy. Here's like 20 paragraphs.
To understand how Deathblow works, we first have to consider medieval architecture.
Okay, each of the death blow's required moves account for equal percentages of the death blow's percentage on the status screen. For example, Fuke requires 5 moves, so each move is worth 20% of the number reflected in the death blow status screen. But yeah, it seems like each move has its own. Each move has its own experience level, and as you do each button, essentially it gains experience, and that eventually turns into a death blow.
Yeah, like I feel like I remember, particularly at some point late in the game, like grinding out death blows by repeatedly.
Yeah, and you end up wanting to have like optimal combinations.
Yes. Yeah. Well, because like even though you don't get to be a human at the end of the game, since you're
You still want those death blows.
Yeah, you want those death blows.
Wait, not human? You transcend humanity by the end of the day?
Yeah, you
No,
transcend
you
humanity
sit
by
in a
getting
giant
into
robot
giant
the entire
robots,
time.
didn't you?
Oh, okay. For a moment, I thought this was like a transhumanist game, and I was like, "Fucking Elon Musk! I gotta beat the shit out of Elon Musk." But no, it's different.
Transhumanism does not have to have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I don't think that that's a fair thing to just say like Elon Musk has ruined it for everyone.
Okay.
Elon Musk has not necessarily ruined transhumanism.
Bonk.
I had lost like 50 HP.
Yeah,
Luckily,
maybe
I have a
heal.
lot of jerky.
I love eating jerky to recover from a head wound.
That is exactly how jerky works. If you don't think jerky works that way, you're wrong.
No, that's what I'm saying. Gonna eat some jerky to recover from this head wound.
So where are you now? I won't lie. I feel a little bit checked out.
Faye just wandered into the forest after being told to get the fuck out of the remains of his own village.
Where he meets his new shoulder pad girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Welcome to Shoulder Pad Girlfriend.
She is Murphy Brown.
Make one wrong move and I'll shoot.
I think we'd all be Murphy Brown with enough effort.
I don't think that echelon can be reached by everyone.
I just like popped the sound on to try to work out. We were talking too much, and I can't tell if they tried to give her like a weird sort of German accent.
That would be vaguely appropriate.
Yeah, she definitely has some kind of accent. I just couldn't tell what kind, and I assumed it must be German based on her name, but
I like the subtle storytelling of, you don't seem to be one of the soldiers that is after me from this specific country.
But she's not sure.
it's weird to suddenly see Faye have just these fucking nerves of steel when someone's pointing a gun at his head.
Pardon me.
He just
Why
killed
does she
everyone he
have a hand?
knows.
Look,
He didn't do that intentionally. He seemed to have broken up about it.
Why doesn't she have a hand at the end of her arm?
That's a
Because-
gun.
That's a really fucked up gun.
Well, it's only going to show up in 3 sprites, so I don't blame them.
Fair enough then.
She's got black gloves, and holding a black glove, it ends poorly.
Here's your new friend and love interest.
What an odd thing to say. I do have to say that I do appreciate that Faye's one of the few JRPG characters that notably gets laid over the course of his adventure.
Sometimes you gotta.
I'm reasonably certain Vice got laid over the course of his adventure multiple times.
That makes sense to me, but I'm not sure if there's ever a scene that specifically implies it.
Oh, no, absolutely.
I mean, there's vague implication in something like Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VIII or Final Fantasy X or oh my god.
Final Fantasy VII gets pretty explicit if you actually got enough affection. This happened. We're not going to show it, but it happened.
These guys of Arcadia is that they're weirdly a polycule before there was even a word for that.
I'm sure there were words for that, although that probably wasn't the word people were using.
Yes, exactly. So that wasn't the word people were using, but they were definitely a polycule by the end.
But yeah, just looking at going down to the list of I'm perfectly fine as long as they just stop being coy about the romance plot by the end.
I mean, legitimately,
either do it or don't.
Ellie's
Also, these are not elves. I'm just gonna put that out there.
There's a bunch of droids.
Forest elves.
Yo. Hey, it's Calscrub!
Hey!
It's Xenogears time, baby.
It's Xenogears.
Why are these called forest elves?
They're good at breakdancing like all elves.
All gnomes? All gnomes aren't good at breakdancing. I've met plenty of
I said elves, not gnomes. That'd be silly.
Fool.
Elves are just a different kind of gnome.
What?
That's racist.
Is that how speciation works here?
Variation of gnomes.
Pete, you gonna get canceled.
Okay, time to drag the lady that pointed a gun at you, and then you got attacked by forest elves.
You didn't move for so long that I started to worry is exactly also what they say after they have sex. So just a heads up on that one.
Oh god! That's a really bad thing to be hearing.
I can be mad at you properly.
That's a really bad thing to hear.
I'm not hearing you run it by me again, Gogglebob. You're ashamed of it twice.
No, you're gonna have to listen to it again on the replay. Sorry.
That's fucked up and you know it.
Dude, Faye is totally
no.
like...
Let me write up this part. Let me do that. You owe me this.
Right up. I would like to point out that Faye's being like such a passive-aggressive jerk. He's like, you could thank me for rescuing you from these elf things.
Wow, racist. Against elves, I guess? Is that a thing you can be racist against?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, like, sure, within the context of a fantasy story, but like well, I guess real elves don't exist in real life. Never mind.
What's with you and this lamb thing? So basically, this is what, the Princess and the Pauper or something like that.
I was gonna say James and Giant Peach.
She's a stuck-up jerk from the city, and he's a karate guy who killed everyone he knows. Fei Fang Wang. I'm sorry, I know I'm a little bit ahead, but I just really appreciate that Faye says ridiculous nonsense and Ellie's like, what?